what you need from it. Family of trees wanting to be haunted. Control yourself, take only what you need from it. Family of trees wanting to be haunted. And I want copyright violations all day, because y'all know I'm never going to monetize this channel. If you would like to support Esperanza Tarot, please, pretty please, click on the links in the description box, and we will do a personal session, or you can always just donate to the cause. I love receiving donations. Oftentimes I buy myself a PBR, but today I'm having a chai latte at the Frou Frou coffee shop in my hometown. This place where I am sitting right now, when I was a little girl, this was a 5 and dime. Some of you on this channel are old enough to even know what that means. All right, let's get our oracle card for today, Friday, the 31st of July, last day of July, huh? Wow, that happened quickly, didn't it? Here we come. Let's do this one. Throat chakra affirmations. I hear and speak the truth. You know I do. You know I do. For better or worse, I'll tell you the truth. I'm usually pretty gentle about it. You know, people sometimes get a little bit nervous to come and have a reading because, like, they don't want to know. But I would just advise not asking questions then if you don't want to know the truth. If you don't want to know, then don't ask, okay? But if you ask, I'll tell you. But I won't tell you unless you ask. You know what I mean? Actually, I was watching a podcast the other day, and there was a psychic medium on there. I think she was some sort of psychic or something like that. She deals with, like, spirits from beyond or something. I don't know. But she was saying that, like, if she gets a premonition about someone, she doesn't say anything. And then the host, Jimmy Church, actually, he was like, well, don't you feel compelled? Don't you feel like you have to tell something to someone? Like, what if it was they were in danger or whatever? And it's like, you know what? Everybody's got free will. Like, unless you ask me to tell you what I can see, I ain't telling you shit. I ain't seen shit. I don't know shit. I ain't heard shit. I don't know shit. But if you would like to know, click the links and we'll have a fun conversation about it, all right? All right. I hear and speak the truth. This is our vibe for today. Let's pull our Quick Hits tarot reading and see what the cards have to say to us. Let's shuffle up a little bit. Get into the shuffle vibes for today. What's up for your weekend? What's everybody doing this weekend? We got to take one of my aunties to the airport, and I think that's going to be the last guest leaving the house. So I've had a lot of guests these past couple weeks, huh? Been pretty busy with family, and it's been really lovely. Oh, we got our jumper. It's 3 of Wands reversed. Okay, so that's a rethink on the ways that we're putting ourselves out there. That's a rethink about what's on the horizon. That's actually learning that there's more on the horizon than we even imagined. We can only see as far as our imagination will take us. And with the 3 of Wands reversed, we might be actually pulling back from that edge and going back towards something that seems more familiar. 3 of Wands is when we actually leave our comfort zone, and with the 3 of Wands reversed, we might just really be rethinking the ways in which we're putting ourselves out there, whether it's creatively, especially with the Wands card, the fire, maybe some of the sacral chakra activities that we were doing yesterday when we pulled that oracle card. We might even be redoing a craft that we have done before and repurposing it. That would be a really good way to use the 3 of Wands reversed energy. So that's going to be the flavor for our reading, and now we can pray and play for our Quick Hits Tarot. Thank you so much for fine-tuning your free will and intuition with me, and Please stay tuned. I will talk about the astrology for today. All right, Friday the 31st of July, 2026. Holy moly. Near past, present tense, near future. Wow, we got here quickly, didn't we? Time is accelerating, I promise you. Near past, Four of Pentacles reversed, present tense, Two of Swords reversed, and the near future, King of Cups reversed. A lot of energy for us to work on a personal level. When I see reverse cards in a reading, that's usually that, like, I could work on something, you know, I could internalize that energy for myself, and then maybe it'll come out clearer in my environment. Four of Pentacles reversed. I love this in reverse because it means it's like an opening up. After we had that Five of Pentacles the other day, and maybe we felt a little bit tight on the purse strings, or we just spent a little bit more money than we had wanted to, or that we had planned on, then we get the Four of Pentacles reversed here, which sort of encourages us to stay open, you know, to not cling to our finances, to not cling to our physical location, to not cling to our habits, right? With the Four of Pentacles reversed, Four of Pentacles upright, usually in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, you'll see a person who's like literally clinging on to their money. Their arms are crossed and they're not open to giving or receiving, right? But with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, we can open up that flow a little bit, unclog that drain a little bit, so that like we get fresh flow and fresh incoming. Now that means that sometimes you got to spend money to make money, right? But the Four of Pentacles reverse, like, that gives us the courage and that gives us the encouragement to be able to like spend a few ducats, right? Put a few ducats in the bucket, tip your bartender, tip your tarot reader. Four of Pentacles reverse is just like, it's a good card for being a little bit more open with yourself. And especially since we had the Four of Cups yesterday, you know, so we were feeling like maybe a little bit more emotionally closed off. And here with the Four of Pentacles, we're usually feeling a little bit financially closed off. So it's sort of an encouragement to open ourselves up and to spend a little more, to give us a little fresh energy in our lives, okay? Two of Swords reverse. I love this card in reverse too, because that means that choices are actually being made and we don't have to waffle around or try to act like we're playing Lady Justice, or, you know, with the Two of Swords upright, this is usually a decision. It's a stalling of making a decision. With Two of Swords reverse, the decisions are starting to get made, and we're starting to, maybe after that full moon in Aquarius, we sort of highlighted an area in our lives to where we're turning that corner and we're starting to understand how to move forward. Two of Swords is usually a card of a standstill. It's a lower reverberation of Piscean energy, air energy. You know, you could be dealing with a lower reverberation of the Justice card or the Hanged Man card. I see both of those in the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is usually somebody who's just trying to please everybody. They're usually like a people pleaser. Swords cards in the tarot have to do with air energy. What is air? That's our thoughts, our communication, the information that we're receiving, and the logic that we take from taking in the information and then planning logistically what moves we're going to make. With the Two of Swords reversed, we've decided which sword we're going to go with. We've decided what we really believe and what's really true to us, and we're going for it. King of Cups reversed. This is a person that could use a little more support in our lives. He could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces person. This is a father figure usually. This is somebody who's established themselves in society. Okay, they're not necessarily like a youngster on their path. They have mature energy. Kings and queens have mature energy. Now, when they're in the reversed situation, when it's an inverted card, that could mean that this is energy inside of me that I could work on. I'm invited to work on my own capacity to care for myself, to be a good father to myself. We all have masculine and feminine energies inside of us, right? And so we all have like this dynamic, right, of father, mother that created us. As human beings, we are created by father and mother, right? And when the King of Cups is in reverse, that means that our father vibes, like our father womb wounds. If we have father wounds, for example, they might need a little bit of healing internally. We might want to heal our relationship with ourselves so that our relationship with our father comes through a little bit clearer in our day-to-day, right? King of Cups reverse can also mean that there's a person in our lives. If it's not our energy, it could be somebody else surrounding us who's either a little bit more closed off emotionally, or they could be a little bit over emotional. Like, I can think of a father figure in my life who, as he's aging, he's becoming a lot more emotional, and that can come through as like anger, depression, but it usually kind of comes through with him, his swords, his logic and his reasoning skills are still there, but you could tell that like as he ages, he becomes a little bit more emotional, and that can happen to all of us. If we have a King of Cups moment in our lives, this can also be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces person. If I'm reading for just the general news, the news cycle, you know, the first thought that came to me was Elon Musk. Like, he might be having a hard time with this full moon. Full moon in Aquarius. Aquarius has to do with like technology. Aquarius energy has to do with being on the forefront and being futuristic. And there might be something in the news cycle coming through about him that, you know, something that didn't work out or something that worked out differently than he had hoped, or he might just be recycled back into the news cycles since this is in reverse. So that we might be going back to something that he said before or something that he did before, and then this could be becoming more apparent in the news cycle for us. Especially in terms of like decisions that had to be made and who's spending money with whom and how. Okay? So that's what I have for our KWIK Hits Tarot for today, Friday, the 31st of July, 2026. Be sure to stay protected, brethren. I love you, and please stay tuned. We'll talk about the astrology in just a moment. I see a kite. I see a diamond. What do you see in this chart? I see a kite formation pointing to the moon and the north node. The moon's going to cross over the north node in the early hours of the day. By the time you watch this video, the moon has probably already crossed over the north node and entered into Pisces. But for 6:45 in the morning, Central Standard Time, which is the time I pull this chart for, I see a kite formation between the moon and the north node, sextiling Chiron, sextiling Black Moon Lilith making a trine to Chiron, making a trine to Regulus, and the south node. So that trine, that earth trine between Chiron and Taurus, Regulus and Virgo, and the south node in the full degrees of Leo, a little bit out of sign, but still there. And then Black Moon Lilith in the beginning parts of Capricorn. What I see is harmonization happening right here on Earth in real time between the cleansing and healing that we need to do of people who have overstayed their welcome or abused their power in leadership positions, and that dark feminine energy or demonic energy. Capricorn being ruled over by the Devil card in tarot. Of course, Black Moon Lilith representing dark feminine energy. We have Virgo, the sign of the Virgin. Venus being there, trying to be a good nursemaid, but she's getting, you know, that tension with Mars in Gemini. Mars in Gemini is just talking at her. You know, like, can I holla at you? Can I holla at you? And she's actually trying to, you know, be of service and get some work done. And Mars is like nipping at her heels, right? Regulus now used to be in the zodiac sign of Leo, but Regulus is now in the beginning degrees of Virgo. So with Regulus actually technically being in Virgo, even though it's a king and queen star, the king and queens that will have success with this energy are only the ones that will vow to be of service. Okay, because Virgo energy has to do with being mutable, being flexible in the ways that you can get in where you fit in and what is best for everyone overall.
which is also actually an Aquarian theme. Aquarian energy has to do with technology, humanity. It's ruled over by Saturn. Saturn in Aries here is making the trine to the ascendant of this chart, kind of enforcing, okay, the need to rise up as individual sovereign people, not persons, but people. Does that make sense? I also want to talk about the basket. It's loosening up. One of the sides of the basket's getting a little bit worn out and widening. We're still working with the Sun Jupiter, but that's also separating some. So we still have the benevolence of Jupiter protecting our inner shine and our inner glow. But like I said, that kite pattern is pointing all towards the moon in Aquarius, which is moving into Pisces here. So we want to keep our emotions focused on our dreams, okay, our dreams for the future. And that's what I have for us today. I hope you have a very happy weekend. Get a hold of me if you want to have a personalized session, and we will see how this recent full moon in Aquarius is hitting your chart and moving into eclipse season. It would be a wonderful time to just see where this Leo new moon solar eclipse is going to touch you astrologically. Love you. Bye.